Good day to you, our dear viewer. Good to know that you're joining us for this newscast. My name is Sandra Kahunde. It is our weekly news roundup, a special edition that comes away every single Sunday to bring you the highlights and some of our top stories that you could have missed out during the entire week. And we're coming to you live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. Now, straight into activities this Sunday, as I will take a look through the activities of the week. President Yoweri Museveni this week met with doctors and engineers who was sponsored to complete their studies by State House. The president thanked them for embracing the scholarship that helped them to complete their university studies. Museveni emphasized the need to grasp the prevention concept in the health sector to ensure that 75% of diseases are prevented right here in Uganda.
President Yoweri Museveni has met with doctors and engineers sponsored by State House to complete their university studies. The president asked them to help the communities to generate wealth by sensitizing them to embrace government programs.
You wonder why a district medical officer cannot, once every 2 weeks, go on the local radio and educate the people. Say, you people, today I'm coming to talk to you about this. I'll talk about this, do this, give written instructions to the medical chiefs to tell the people what to do, instruct the local government to know how to make proper latrines and so on. Because you are the head of, the medical are the head of the authorities.
He also welcomed the doctor's suggestion to volunteer for 1 year before they are absorbed into government workforce.
WHO tells us that for effective medical service, you need 1 doctor for every 500 people of population. So since our population is 43 million now, it means we need 86,000 doctors. Not 5,000, we need 83,000. We need a big number. But and we are very clear about that, and we are so therefore when you say 2,000, 5,000, this is nothing. They will be absorbed. But the question is when. This is the problem of the budget.
The president promised to educate the children of medical doctors and other health workers who died of COVID-19 while saving lives during the pandemic period. The president of Uganda Medical Association, Dr. Samuel Oledo Odong, thanked President Yoweri Museveni for giving young scientists a future by sponsoring their education.
Muzeeyi tukweyanza leero tuyimire twambadde zino clinical coats leero ba-engineers bambadde reflectors okulaga nti tutuuse ku kituuseko leero n'ennaku eziise because of you.
He also told the president that as doctors, they are ready to serve the nation, reiterating that they are willing to volunteer for a full year before they are formally recruited.
Twasomera bwereere, watusasira bwereere, watuwa ekyokulya. Your Excellency, tukusuubiza. Ate in all aspects, twagala tukuwa omwaka gumu oba community service. Mu malwaliro, mu byalo eyo, Your Excellency, ba-engineer bagende mu engineering department nga tebagenda basasula musaala naye just transport abatwalayo feeding babeereyo mwaka mulamba ogwo mwaka tujja guyita the year to January Kaguta Museveni.
Joseph Oko, UBC.
In more state activities, the President Yoweri Museveni is challenging Africans and development partners to front the idea of collective development. He was this week speaking at the closure of the second Africa High-Level Forum of South-to-South Triangular Cooperation for Sustainable Development at Speak Resort Munyonyo near Kampala.
I'd like to welcome you back.
Thursday was the third day of the conference. President Yoweri Museveni was the chief guest, expected to close. His arrival was just in time for the closing ceremony to kick off. He was welcomed by State Minister for Finance in charge of planning, Amos Lugorobi. The message of addressing financial gaps to counter obstacles to development goals was central.
Identify competences required for us to fully exploit our raw materials and knowledge to inform the education system that we should put in place.
Complementary to this were abridged resolutions adopted by the forum.
Economic resilience and finance for development welcomes with support the multidimensional policies adopted by African countries to curb the consequences of COVID-19 and the need to rebuild economies.
On taking to the podium, President Yoweri Museveni carried a message of collective quest for wealth creation across nations.
So it's now high time to address the issue of global affluence. We don't want partial affluence in only a few countries. That is a system of parasitism, of parasites. We don't want parasitism, we want symbiosis, where people equally gain from working together.
He partly blamed retarded progress of some countries on historical injustices caused by colonialism.
And part of the backwardness of Africa was when we lagged behind in science and technology. We invented fire 1.5 million years ago. We took part in the agricultural revolution. We took part in the domestication of animals, but thereafter we lagged behind. When the Chinese invented gunpowder and the Europeans weaponized it, we took part in the Iron Age, but after that we lagged behind. So this lagging behind in science and technology is very dangerous. It should never happen again.
It is on this basis that he wants South-to-South cooperating countries to trade together at the same pace.
Can you sustainably ensure affluence through donations? No, you can't. Affluence must be through education for all, but also all adults who are not too old engaged in producing a good or a service, either as entrepreneurs or as workers.
Partly, Museveni's concerns had earlier on been alluded to by some development partners.
The need for a strong commitment to South-to-South and triangular cooperation for sustainable development at all levels.
They want us to continue producing raw materials, getting $2 per kilo, while somebody else gets $50 from the same kilo where I have got $2. This is a big shame.
The 3-day engagement was held under the theme, Building National Capacities for South-to-South and Triangular Cooperation Ecosystem in Africa, and Forging Horizontal Partnerships for Sustainable and Resilient Societies. Henry Crude, UBC.
In more updates from the state, President Yoweri Museveni this week presided over the graduation ceremony of 18 senior army officers at the National Defense College, that is in Njero. The president emphasized that the security of any country must be provided by its own people because they know what hurts them the most.
18 brigadier generals and colonels who are pioneer students of the first intake at the National Defence College in Jeru, Wikwe district, have graduated.
I, General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, do hereby confer on you the NDC from this 18th day of January, the year of our Lord, 2023.
These have completed a one-year master's equivalent course on national security and strategic studies, which was facilitated by UPDF Senior Directive Staff, Makerere University and other stakeholders.
The study covered areas on national and regional security, policy formulation, implementation and review, strategic management and research. The studies were anchored on a Pan-Africanist setting.
Because every course has got a purpose, and there are, whereas one might be good at fighting with weapons, one still needs to be backed up and grounded in strategic thought, which this college was brought in to solve.
Graduates were urged to think of making UPDF a self-sustaining force as they await further deployment.
That this college comes now to cap the topmost tier of the joint professional military education requirements with added advantages such as the reduced cost of training outside the country.
Once you happen to be deployed, wherever you are deployed, make sure that corruption, which has been a problem in the civilian sector, does not come to the army. We have had some cases where we have some cases of...
The President of the Republic of Uganda called for more training and improvement in the welfare of soldiers to have a strong force.
Otherwise, we are moving very well. There is no war we cannot fight here in our country. Any type of war, we shall fight it. We have the capacity and the motivation.
The graduates received National Defence College certificates, transcripts and badges. The National Defence College is mandated to prepare selected military officers and government officials and appropriate individuals for senior leadership and management roles. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Wikwe District.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, this week urged the Office of the Auditor General to be strict while auditing parish development model funds. She was receiving the annual report of the Auditor General for the financial year ended 30th June 2022 in the Speaker's boardroom.
The Office of the Auditor General has officially handed over the annual report for financial year ended 30th June 2022 as mandated in Article 163 of the Constitution to the Speaker of Parliament.
I wish to inform you that the scope of the audits has reached over 117,000, which is beyond the current capacity. The current capacity the office can handle.
It indicates that out of the 139 billion shillings disbursed to implement the PDM program, 594 million shillings has not been accounted for.
Disbursement of funds to circles that were not appropriately registered, 4, failure by circles to utilize funds, and 5, it was also observed that the funds amounting to 594 million in 5 local governments were not adequately accounted for. The office has planned to review the implementation of the program on an annual basis.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, said, in addition to strictly auditing PDM program, the Office of the Auditor General should put emphasis on value for money audits, including Parliament operations.
You've identified on PDM, because a lot of our money is going to PDM, so I think you need to be more strict on issues of PDM. The right people should be able to get the money. The right circles must be able to get the money, not the ghost circles. They must have an operating system that is going to help them track this kind of monies. And of course, we need the database, because at the end of the day, you're going to give somebody who is from across the money and you think that person is yours.
Out of the 1,940 reports handled by the Auditor General's Office in 2021-22 financial year include payroll for teachers' salaries, audited 57 organizations and districts on use of government land, recovery costs in the oil and gas sector, among others.
To ineligible teachers who had accessed the payroll using forged documents, these payments alone amounted to 18 billion. Overpayments of salary, pension and gratuity, and also delays of up to about 12 months to access the payroll.
Speaker is to give the reports to different committees to handle the findings of the Auditor General in a period of 6 months, as mandated by Article 163, Section 5 of the Constitution, to complete the accountability cycle. I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji at Parliament.
The resident district commissioner Chikube District Amran Tumsime this week reaffirmed government's stand on oil drilling by 2025. This was during the handover of 1,000 trees from National Forestry Authority to the Drilling West Treatment and Disposal Facility for the Kingfisher Oil Facility.
Luwero Industries, together with HBP, which were contracted to construct the waste treatment and disposal facility, which will accumulate solid and liquid waste, affirmed that the facility is fully completed and ready for use.
The facility is ready for use. The agencies that are in authority, like PAU, Petroleum Authority, NEMA, came a few days ago and they checked, they did a thorough audit, and we were cleared. We are ready. All the equipment that are needed to start receiving waste from Sinop are available, have been installed, have been connected to power, they have been tested, and they are ready, like you have seen them.
The General Manager, Luwero Industries Limited, Major General Sabit Mzei, says the plant will be crucial in protecting the environment. He later led a delegation for a tree planting session around the premises, where National Forest Authority donated 1,000 trees.
We have the wastewater treatment facility, we have engineered landfills. That these assets are supposed to help us to manage the oil waste from the Kingfisher. So trees are like our lungs, but in a different way. The lungs get oxygen, they churn out carbon dioxide. The trees absorb the carbon dioxide and churn out oxygen. So they will be very essential in reducing the carbon footprint in this area.
The resident district commissioner, Chikube District Amran Tumsime, dispelled rumors of accusation from politicians that oil drilling is already taking place.
Oil is not transported like a porridge, like juice, like water. Oil is transported in a special way. It has to be transported. I'm talking about the crude oil, because Uganda has crude oil. It has to be transported through a heated, the underlying word is heated pipeline. So those people like the Bobby Wine and others who have been talking about Uganda is selling crude oil, that's not true. They don't know the process. They are ignorant about oil and gas projects.
National Forest Authority encourages all persons with land to embrace tree planting, which adds nutrients to the soil.
We have to go outside to encourage whoever has land to be able to integrate trees in all of their programs. And this is really a commendable effort from the management and administration of this area to think about planting and growing of the trees.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Authorities in Bunyangabo district are taking measures to secure a mass grave where National Resistance Army fighters were interred. This follows a recent incident in which a monument at Katebo sub-county containing the remains of those who died during the Liberation War was vandalized.
Stealing of National Resistance Movement skulls at Katewa Sub-County NRA monument has rubbed residents of Bunyangabo district the wrong way. The monument was built in remembrance of those who died during the 1980-1985 Liberation War, but some people have resorted to stealing some of the bones interred in this monument. District authorities say that unknown people have continued to vandalize the monument near Katewa Seventh-day Adventist Church and stealing skulls.
The one who's caretaking told us the first stealing took 7 skulls. Then this one of recent, I understand, more 3 were stolen. So in total, 10 skulls have been stolen.
Some of the NRA combatants who died in Sororo Kabonero, Rubona and on Fort Poto Kasese Road in Kabarole district were first buried in Kanyampanika and later buried in a mass grave at the monument.
And mainly these skulls, according to what I got, they were being stolen by wananchi. Some wananchi, not everybody. And people are saying they could have been coming from far, not even from here. That you go and get a skull of a fighter, and when you get that skull of a fighter, it will protect you. Like these thieves now, when they go and steal, when they have these skulls, they think possibly since these people are related to fighting and they were real fighters, if he takes the skull and possibly gets like a teeth, then he wears it, then he's successful in his stealing thing.
Residents now want government to deploy security guards at the mass grave where NRA fighters' bones are interred. We need security to be tightened here to safeguard the remaining skulls. This is not the first time they have vandalized this monument. Some time back, something happened here when some bones were taken. If possible, a strong padlock should be availed because these evil people we suspect to be witch doctors will continue stealing the remains of our fallen comrades. After we realized the theft, I personally reported to the RDC about the matter. I went ahead and forwarded the same letter to the National Veterans Office in Kampala, addressed to Afande Jacob Asimwe. They are all aware, perhaps they will do something about it. Katewa Sub-County, which lies on the slopes of Mountain Rwenzori, was one of the strongholds of NRA rebels in the Rwenzori sub-region between 1981 and 1986 during the Bush War.
In more updates, the House of Bishops this week elected a number of new bishops. Reverend Enos Kito Kagodo was elected the 5th Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Mukono, while Reverend Canon Simon Akol was elected the 2nd Bishop of North Karamoja Diocese. Makerere University Anglican Church Chaplain, the Reverend Onesimus Asimwe, was elected the 6th Bishop of North Kigezi Diocese.
We've been honestly praying to God to give us a bishop who will fit in the feet of the outgoing bishop of Mukono, James Sebagala. So we thank God for answering our prayers and giving us Venerable Enos Canon Enos.
Ate tumusabire bange kisoka kya bino mulabiza alina okukola kituyita charge biki byagenda okukola mu buweereza bwe ba mu kisanja kye banyuma lw'okulondebwa.
We are so much excited and so eagerly waiting to hear from him and to receive him warmly and even to work with him in a friendly mood and a friendly manner. We know he's a very hard-working guy, so pastoral and so loving and so caring. So we are so eagerly waiting to hear from him. Tumwagaliza obwerezo obulungi.
Moving on, a Civil Aviation Authority this week apologized to the general public over some of their security officers extorting money from the passengers. A Civil Aviation Authority explained that some of the officers have been arrested over the vice.
Some security officers at Entebbe Airport have been arrested over alleged involvement in extorting money from passengers and visitors to grant them airport access.
We have already reviewed the social media videos that have gone out. We've reviewed them. We've been able to see, and I can announce that one of them has been arrested this morning, this morning, because he was easily identified as a staff who was involved in the fraud. So that one has been arrested.
Sente bwezijja ku ssimu tuziteekeko
ku simu yo direct.
The Deputy Director General, Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, Olivia Lumonyabi-Runji, lauded Ugandans for coming out and alerting them via social media on what's happening at the airport.
Then afterwards, when I took a wagaye, Guy Nangamba, Sister Leta Imtwala Awasatu, Ovase Chenya Nyegena ku recording, another Davana, Enyonizava Serese Dutch Tegera.
Twetaaga immediate action. Bino yomugamba nti mwate manchi kino nga kigenda maaso nsuubira mulimba.
Kiri evident nti tokyasobola kuyita ku kisaawe kya Uganda kugenda mu nsi yonna nga tosasudde enguzi. Oba olina employment visa ng'ogenda ku mulimu, oba olina visit visa ng'ogenda kukyala.
I also want, on behalf of the agencies at Entebbe International Airport, to appreciate the Ugandans that have actually come out and raised the issues that they faced. We can only improve or become better when we get such positive feedback.
Now the airport security has reinstated stringent measures like name tagging for easy identification of staff and visitors.
So what are we going to do right from yesterday is to implement the decision, enforce it, follow it up to ensure that any staff from whatever agency who has a direct interface with the customer in the different areas does not walk or use their phone while serving a customer.
After you have completed with immigration, the only other persons who can offload you after you have passed immigration would be the responsible officers whom she has mentioned. So these are the areas that we need to iron out properly so people know exactly.
The airport authority is worried that the incident might tarnish Entebbe Gateway's image in terms of scoring marks from the International Civil Aviation Organization.
A businessman from Chiboga, Godfrey Setiba, is seeking for justice after an alleged threat on his life. A Godfrey Setiba, commonly known as Achitoke, that deals in solar products, says he has been defrauded and his efforts to get justice frustrated. He spoke to UBC TV about his mystery.
Godfrey Setiba was a dealer in solar products and had a thriving business in Chiboga town. But a seemingly minor property dispute with a fellow businessman turned into a life-threatening ordeal. I got a little misunderstanding with a fellow businessman who then hired a gun to kill me. He was arrested and taken to the police and charged with conspiracy to murder. After 4 months, the file could not be traced in court, where it had been forwarded. The judge later informed me that the military court in Bombo had taken up the case since it involved the use of a gun. Setiba ran to the police and the suspect was arrested. But the file mysteriously went missing and the suspect was later released. Setiba was framed for the kidnap attempt of the suspect, but later the DPP dismissed the case of kidnap that had been leveled against him.
Kati ne bankwata ne bantwala ekiboga ku police. Ngenda okutuukayo nga bangamba banziguddeko omusango gwa kidnapping with madam nabadde mpambi omuntu nga mutwala kumutta.
The police then took me to Chiboga police station where I was charged with kidnap with intent to murder. In the cell, I was joined by one of his Mungu who had previously been part of a group extorting money from me in the name of following up my case. UBC reached out to the then chairperson LC5 Chiboga, Israel Yiga. He denied any involvement in Setiba's matter.
Ensonga y'omwami oyo ekituufu kiri nti byali wakati wa poliisi ne RDC ne DISO. Ffe bannabyabufuzi baabitugobamu kuba byalimu security ennyo ne tuba nga tugoberera bugoberezi generally.
Godfrey Setiba looks helpless and appeals to the government to help him access justice. Ali Kamlegea Asaba, UBC.
Now moving on, International University of East Africa in partnership with Ting Institute this week launched a computer numeric control program to equip students with skills in engineering and technology. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Emeka, is confident the hands-on program will equip the students for the world of work.
The Vice Chancellor, International University of East Africa, Professor Emeka Kaizua, says that the computer numerical control program that has just been launched at the university in partnership with the Jansho Institute is going to be a game changer. Kaizua says for the world of work.
We'll get first-hand training on how best to help Uganda to move into an industrial phase where we are doing manufacturing here. So the CNC program is a key component. You can't have manufacturing, a good manufacturing base without the use of these kinds of CNC machines.
We do 3D modeling through the software, and we give the exact precise dimension and input into the machine, and it's the machine automatically to control the moving, the processing, the machining of the workpiece.
The program is a combination of online and physical courses with various units.
Control, programming, so those are some of the key aspects of this program.
Students are eager to learn and expect to achieve a lot from the computer numerical control program.
How to operate the machines, how to maintain the machines, and how to command them to do certain duties. We're also expecting internships. If possible, maybe they will take us to China if they can afford. A supplementary to the course I'm doing as a civil engineering, this certificate will help me to work all over the world.
Marian Umcha, UBC News.
Well, good news, still watching the weekly news roundup. The Public Accountants Examination Board of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda this week released the December 2022 examination diet results. The president of the Institute, CPA, that is the president of the Institute, CPA, Constantine Othieno Mayendo, officiated the release and also announced a new PEP examination syllabus.
President of the Institute, I hereby declare Accounting Technicians Diploma examinations results released.
The Public Accountants Examination Board has released the December 2022 examination diet with at least 5,279 candidates attempting the examinations held at the 7 centers of Arua, Fort Portal, Gulu, Kampala, Mbale, Mbarara, and Nkozi.
66% of the passes were on first attempt of the various papers. In terms of age, 16.3% of the passes were scored by candidates in the age brackets 18 to 24 years.
This year's accountants examinations in certified public accountants and accounting technicians diploma are the last ones to be conducted under the old syllabus. However, certified tax advisor students will continue sitting the current syllabus.
Accountancy moves with the developments in the economies. That is why we have accounting standards being introduced, some other accounting standards being amended to reflect the changes in economic conditions.
The president of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, Constantino Othieno Mayende, officiated the examination release and announced a revised PAEB examination syllabus.
So what we do is we keep looking at what is changing in the economy, and then we also revise our syllabus accordingly, such that the graduates we produce are not going to be irrelevant in the system.
The chairperson, Public Accountants Examination Board, CPA, Professor Laura Orobia, explained that under the revised syllabus already been submitted to the National Council for Higher Education, the Institute plans to conduct computer-based examinations, beginning with integration of knowledge.
From time to time after the release of exam results, the Institute takes a step to share the areas of concern that could be indicators for students' poor performance.
The Director Education at the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, John Bosco Untagare, says under the new syllabus, content and learning outcomes have been refreshed to match developments in the regulatory framework, reporting standards, and business environment within which organization operates.
Now included the law of cooperatives. Insolvency is becoming very important. We have included insolvency in our syllabus. Entrepreneurship used to be spread in various subjects. We have now consolidated it and made it and combined it with economics into one paper. We had a paper called Business Policy and Strategy. We are now calling it Strategy, Governance and Leadership. We know an accountant will have leadership.
The outgoing syllabus that has been from 2016 to 2022, the Institute has produced 201 accounting technicians and 2,520 certified public accountants qualifications. Mtonyi Hilda and Deo Habimana, UBC.
Uganda Human Rights Commission this week established the status of National Unity Platform alleged missing persons, following a request by NUP leaders. The chairperson Uganda Human Rights Commission, Mariam Wagadia, explained that they contacted the next of kin of the alleged persons for particulars concerning their arrest.
The Uganda Human Rights Commission recently wrote to National Unity Platform requesting for information of persons alleged to be missing. This followed persistent claims by National Unity Platform that its party supporters had been kidnapped in Communicado. The chairperson, Uganda Human Rights Commission, Mariam Wangadia, says out of the 25 persons presented to be missing by National Unity Platform, 7 were released in December 2022 and have since reunited with their families.
We have established that out of the 25 persons provided, 7 were arrested but released in December last year and have since reunited with their families. The 7 people I'm talking about include Kavuma, Jamshid, Sonko Haruna Badru, Mtale Charles, Abdu Bayani Babu, Godfrey Chirumira Marvin, Ahumuza Patrick, and Moleme Stephen. Out of the 7 people, 3 were charged with murder and are still honoring their police bond requirements by reporting to Special Investigations Division at Chireka.
Of these, 3 were charged with murder and are still honoring the police bond requirement, while 4 others were arraigned in court and charged with malicious damage of property.
They were granted bail and currently live with their families. They were scheduled to report back to court on 17th of January this year. So these 7 people cannot be said to be missing. And we are in touch with them.
The commission is ready to investigate the whereabouts of alleged missing persons and has asked for cooperation from the public. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
In more news, a mother of quadruplets in Kagadi district is seeking for financial and material support to help her look after her babies. Achom Jisha Rosat, 35, a resident of Achomnembe village in Kagadi Town Council, gave birth to 4 children at Kagadi General Hospital this week recently. She had previously given birth to another set of twins.
The adage that God gives meat to those without teeth fits in well with a peasant farmer's dilemma in Kagadi district, who has had 3 sets of twins and quadruplets without any steady income. 38-year-old polygamous Matia Kasaija currently has 15 children from 2 wives.
Omukazi omuto akaanza kuzaala balongo babiri saazi bayikiza myaka 7 wabo. Ate ono omukazi awazaala abaana 4 akaanza kuzaala balongo bokubanza. Yayonga ati bwahondeizeho yahondezaho omwana omu. Ati bange kugaara uyagaara abaana 4 murundi gumu. Nyine seti za balongo ezimirundi 3. Abana bona mutoto nyina abana 15.
One of his wives recently surprised him with 4 babies, and the polygamous peasant farmer is scratching his head for solutions on how to feed the nursery school-like young family.
Turukiye banyingi nturuka yabane eja mpora baitsanyuka kwa mukama nyamba nkafuna emitwaro kutanga emitwaro nk'atano kugenda mu maiso nisa kurolera abana nkarazinire mu yakasanya nko balira ndanya katuke emitwaro nk'atano obusumi bakazabirwaho atane ho iragali nk'amazima bene ndati maiso kandi aketagisa y'ubukonezi wakiwama no turagaruka mu kagabone tagisa ubukonyezi kandi msaide mwavu umulimo gwangu nkora kuba kulima akasente kamfuna nkayahamfuka ntalimire nkeze kicholi abankeze akasitika muhoguti mfuna akasente.
Chomugisha Rosette, who recently gave birth to 4 babies, says she is in good health but needs financial support to look after the babies. A midwife at Kagadi Hospital Maternity Ward, Immaculate Aine Mbabazi, who helped Chomugisha to deliver the quadruplets, says 1 baby girl died during the delivery while the remaining 3, 1 girl and 2 boys, are off oxygen.
The first baby was 1.2 and was a male, scored 8 to 9. So the first 2 babies were not doing well. We took them to Nichu. They were put in intubation and they were put on oxygen. So they stabilized and they weaned off oxygen. They are doing well.
A caretaker and a sister to Chomugisha, Kichoncho Godlin, says they have financial challenges to purchase daily needs for the babies.
Nanyana wabo na wale aralenda kunywa no kujja kurungi konka kandi titine sente zo kubagulira ejja kunywa amateka bakubaranywa ekicepe kimwe kiragula emitwaro 5 kandi ahubwo kugira ngo n'ibingi ni bashatu turi kureba kasente tutakine akoguma turya buri sande turagurira buri mwana ageye mate so turashaba ngo mutuyambe oraba yine cyaraba yine cyona aterese turashaba ubuyambi buganye.
Kichoncho says for any help, well-wishers can channel it on the telephone number 0777 227064. I repeat, 0777 227064 in the names of Matia Kasaija.
A suspected Rwandan smuggler this week shot and killed in Ruchiga, a district, causing instant panic among residents in the border district. The smuggler was reportedly intercepted at the Uganda-Rwanda border on Nyakisa Hill by suspected Rwanda security operatives, about 50 meters on the Ugandan side of the border, and shot at. The deceased was immediately whisked away into Rwanda by the assailants.
Ugandan security officials, led by the Ruchiga District Police Commander Hussein Wagaba, have calmed down residents in Ruchiga after a smuggler from Rwanda was reportedly killed by suspected Rwandan operatives. The suspected smuggler was reportedly shot at 3 times before his lifeless body was carried back to Rwanda by his killers. Police, while examining the scene of crime, urged residents to calm down as security sorts out the incident. Incidents of shooting smugglers by Rwandan security authorities were rampant during the period of the border closure between 2019 January to 2022. Residents of Chiruhura Mpororo say that they heard 3 gunshots on Nyakisa Hill near their homes with 3 armed people pursuing a man. The chairman LC1 Chiruhura village, Abel Bahika, explains that he heard 3 gunshots. Uganda police post on the side of the border in Mpororo was reportedly closed about 3 months ago under unclear reasons.
Now moving on, over 200 million Uganda shillings was reportedly paid to non-existent Emyoga circles in the old taxi park in Kampala city by responsible officials. This revelation was this week tendered by a section of tax operators during an interaction with the resident city commissioner Kampala Amina Lukanga.
Kampala City Resident Commissioner Amina Lubanga has wrapped up her first week of Emyoga scrutiny in the city with a visit to the old tax park, where she burst a racket of Emyoga funds abuse.
Bagenda kuongera amanyo kubanga baleta ki era badereva banaye mbakubiriza sente zino so siza kulibwa za kuddayo kati abakirabenda mu mukoze eki mukirabye.
This is after some tax operators tipped her about the inconsistencies in the Emyoga Circle's accountability with the possibility of misuse of the funds.
Emmotoka ezo kwe tukyayimiridde kuba bizinensi yaffe gye tumanyi okubala era tugibaze bulungi tutambulidde bulungi okukamala n'emmotoka zitukaddiyeeko.
Without hesitation, she ordered for the arrest of some of the leaders involved in the racket, whom she referred to as saboteurs of government programs.
Mbagamba buli gwe mwawolera ku 12% sijui 10% 12 addeyo ku 8%. Abantu bababye baganya okusasula sente olwa interest rate yembateekamu eki. First of all mbasasuza weekly, interest rate eri waggulu nnyo. Omuntu wanadduka ne sente nga muwoza yabba sente.
Although there have been some success stories about the implementation of a Emyoga program in Kampala and other areas, these scenarios of blatant abuse are worrying.
Good to know you're still watching the weekly news roundup coming to you live from Broadcast House Nile Avenue. In more activities, a section of members under Uganda Association of External Recruitment Agencies, UWERA, this week threatened to undertake stringent actions against the body's top leadership over irregularities in executing the works. The same group recently petitioned courts of law seeking to oust the organization's chairman and secretary general.
A conflict between members of Uganda Association of External Recruitment Agencies and its top leadership has taken another twist. A section of the members of the association are threatening to cause havoc should the organization's chairperson Becca Agaba Akantambira and Winnie Catherine Banura, the Secretary General, fail to change the way they run the organization. Recently, the group called for an urgent step down of the top management over irregularities.
Money that has been allocated or in any government pocket, but it goes to their pockets, that's our concern.
The association members are demanding for the body's chairman and the secretary general to step down, or else they will take serious actions.
It was supposed to be our focal point of our voices to be heard, but this has failed to happen. Secondly, it should be like our monitoring team over the business, which also it has failed because, as you know, right now we don't have any agreement with Saudi Arabia.
A lot has happened, and indeed calling for an extraordinary general meeting is to hear from them.
The annual general meeting was key in their complaints and threatened a 7 days ultimatum should the top management take them for granted.
Giving them benefit of doubt to call, because as we speak right now, we have gathered sufficient signatures to petition them. Fine. And members intend to converge. But since one of our senior members came up and requested them to call for an EGM within the next 7 days, and in the event that they don't heed to that, then we shall be left with no option.
The General Assembly is the supreme body of our association, whereby all grievances have to be heard and answered.
However, the body's public relations officer Ronnie Mukundani confirmed their legal team will attend to all these accusations.
It being an issue that has involved our chair and the Secretary General, we took it upon ourselves to contact our lawyers to be able to get what we call legal guidance.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC News.
Cabinet this week approved the construction of a 296-kilometer crude oil pipeline from Hoima to Mutukula, Uganda-Tanzanian border. The East African Crude Oil Company has been licensed to undertake the construction works. The pipeline project from Hoima to Port of Tanga in Tanzania is costed by $5 billion with the commencement of works expected, that is in November 2023, and completion target is the first quarter of 2025.
Since the discovery of oil in 2006, there has been a number of projects undertaken in preparation for the commercialization of Uganda's petroleum resources. One of the current projects is the construction of the crude oil pipeline from the Albertine region to Tanga in Tanzania. The East African Crude Oil Pipeline is 1,443 kilometers long, and out of these, 296 kilometers are in Uganda. Cabinet has now approved the application by the East African Crude Oil Pipeline Company Limited to undertake the construction works.
For a license to construct the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, or which is popularly known as ECOP, with the following benefits. One, commitment of both the governments of the Republic of Tanzania and Uganda to develop the ECOP project. And two, promoting transparency and sustainability between the countries. And third, demonstrating joint commitment to develop the project in a harmonized manner.
The construction of the crude oil pipeline is costed at $5 billion.
So if you calculate 40% of that being equity, then of the 15% is what government of Uganda is contributing. I think overhead it's in the region of $300 million, and Ministry of Finance I think has already availed above $200 million for the equity contribution of government. The rest of the 60%, which is the bigger part of the budget, is supposed to come from financials, and the discussions are ongoing. I think we are making good progress.
The project, whose construction is expected to commence in November this year and end in the first quarter of 2025, will affect 171 villages in 10 districts in the country. Mutonyi Hilda and Diana Kuti, UBC.
Now, more from business. Ugandans applying for international travel passports will have to wait until next week to access the service. This follows plans by Ministry of Internal Affairs to upgrade the system for more efficient services. The Commissioner in Migration and Passport Control, Brigadier Johnson Namanya, says the offices will be closed between 19th and 20th January 2023 to enable effective service.
The Ministry of Internal Affairs is to carry out a comprehensive passport system upgrade and maintenance on Thursday, 19th, 2023 and Friday, 20th January 2023 in order to improve its effectiveness and efficiency. This upgrade will affect all passport services, including passport applications, scheduling appointments, enrollment for interviews, printing and collection, and our service centers and offices in Kampala at the headquarters, Chambogo, that's where we issue passports, our offices in the regions of Mbarara, Mbale, and Gulu, as well as our missions abroad. This is Washington, London, Ottawa, Copenhagen, Pretoria, and Abu Dhabi. All these will be shut down on Thursday and Friday for systems upgrade. The passport application portal will not be accessible to our online services at www.passports.go.ug or scheduling appointments for that matter for these 2 days will not be possible. And so will be enrollment and collection at the areas that have been mentioned above. Upon completion of this exercise, applicants who had already scheduled to be served on those dates affected will be served alongside those scheduled on subsequent days. For 19th, we shall serve these clients on 23rd. And for 20th, which is a Friday, we shall serve them on 24th of Jan. Once the system upgrade is complete, the ministry will be back to its normal services, and it will be more efficient and effective and robust, with expected improved services across all the areas mentioned.
Sent to transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN, and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
Susan, I want to propose to Rose. Yes, and this time I am serious.
Have you guys had sex?
Duh, of course.
And have you had sex without using condoms?
Hey, Nga, you're curious.
I'm more concerned. Are you having sex with other people?
Hey, hello, is this an interview or what?
No, just things you should think about. Do you know Rose's HIV status?
Okay, this is serious. Should I be worried?
It is actually serious. Do you know your HIV status?
I think I am safe. Many times we get into situations that put us at risk of HIV. However, the first step to ending HIV is getting tested and knowing your results.
It's Time Up HIV. Call 0800-211-046 or text 8080 toll-free for more information about how to prevent HIV.
This message is brought to you by Ministry of Health with support from USAID.
Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
Everybody know. Oh, Hema, maziganga gampomela.
*11. Keeping an eye on all your balance the old way.
I got this. Yeah. Balance is. Yeah.
What is he up to now?
*11.
Keeping an eye on all your balance with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to see all your balance in one place and in real time. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
I do miss him.
Welcome back. It's been a pleasure spending time with you. Thank you for watching and staying. Time is against us, but however, more updates will be coming your way later on in our timely news hours of the day. Keep watching UBC. Well, the team and I salute you and thank you once again for watching. Enjoy your Sunday afternoon and of course, a blessed and a fruitful week ahead. Keep watching UBC.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.